What is the number one skill that you need in order to be successful? You were never taught to develop a high income skill. Now, I don't mean just a degree, I don't mean just a certificate, I don't mean just getting the diploma, I'm talking about a skill. You see, I read a lot of books, and I don't just read books, I actually use books, because knowledge is not power, but applied knowledge is power.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like nah, 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 nah. For my top 10, top 10, nah, nah, nah. This one's for my top 10.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Belief Nation.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So get ready to get a high income skill, never lose money, and be a good leader with Dan Lok and my take on his top 10 rules of success to give you the confidence, motivation, and belief that you need. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Focus on sales.
What is the number one skill that you need in order to be successful? Now, if you look at business is actually quite simple. It's simply you're offering a product or service to the marketplace in exchange of money. That's what commerce is all about. Now, in order to do that, you need people to be buying from you. And in business, nothing happens until a sale is made. So as an entrepreneur, as a business person, the number one skill that you need is the ability to close sales. Because companies, businesses go out of business simply because of lack of revenue, lack of customers. And how are you going to get customers if you don't know how to close, if you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to sell your product or service, period. Most entrepreneurs fail because they spend so much time focusing on the thing, focusing on the product, making that perfect. That's all good. But unless and until you have the ability to go out there and sell something in exchange of money, you're not going to make money. And without money, how are you going to put money into research and development to make your product better? So a lot of time, I could see this happens so much that people think of, selling, it's almost like they look down on the word, right? Oh, these are salespeople. Well, guess what? If you are the janitor of the company, you are in sales. The salesperson, you're in sales. You're in accounting, you're in sales. You're the CEO, you're in sales. Everybody needs to focus on sales. How to bring in revenue. Do things that help bring in revenue, or do things to free up the time of the people who bring in the revenue. It is so critical. Product development needs to understand the product is not ego-based. It's not about, hey, let's make something cool. It's about solving a problem for customers in the marketplace. When you understand this, sales equals income. My question to you is, how much time are you spending on improving your ability to sell, improving your team's ability to sell, to articulate your ideas, to communicate your value to the marketplace? Why should people buy from you? Why they should keep buying from you? Can you articulate that? Can you do your 30-second elevator pitch? Can you grab people's attention? That's the key, the number one skill.
Rule number 2, get a high income skill.
You don't have a high income skill. Through our whole lives, when you were young, your parents told you, go to school, get good grades, get a nice, safe, secure job. You were never taught to develop a high income skill. Now, I don't mean just a degree, I don't mean just a certificate, I don't mean just getting the diploma. I'm talking about a skill set. A skill set is very different from a job. A skill set is something that you offer to the marketplace in exchange of money. And I define high income skill as a skill that could earn you $10,000 or more per month. That means $120,000 a year, basically a 6-figure income. And I've created a lot of videos on my YouTube channel that you could watch on high income skills. You can easily type in high income skills, Dan Lok, and you can find a lot of videos on that subject. So I'm not gonna go into it. But the reason why most people don't become millionaires is because they don't have high income skills. They don't even understand the concept of high income skills. Unless you are a fan of my channel, you've been studying my work, then you know the importance of it. So that the skill set is what is gonna give you that peace of mind. The skill set is what is going to give you that security. The skill set is what is going to give you the financial confidence. You see, when you have that skill set, you're not depending on a company or or a corporation or whatever to pay you whatever you're worth. How much money you make is only determined by how much value you could deliver to the marketplace with your skill set. What it means is there's no ceiling to your income. You could earn as much money as you want as long as you are willing to work on your skill sets and as long as you bring more value to the marketplace. Is this making sense?
Rule number 3, prepare for the future.
I don't care where you are at within a company. Maybe you come in a very a junior position, right? You're a clerk, you're a admin, you are a support. It doesn't matter, because don't focus on this is what you're doing. This is just what you're doing right now. Let's say if you come in the company, you are in the admin role, but your goal is actually to be the VP of sales. That's where you want to be in 3 to 5 years. What you want to do is you want to think about, if I want to be in that position, if I want to be in that leadership position, what do I need to do today to get yourself ready? A lot of people, they wait. Oh, once I get that job, once I get that promotion, then I'll figure out how this works. That's not how life works. You need to operate from you're already there. Doesn't mean you're acting arrogant and things like that. I'm talking about operating. Who do you need to be in order to be able to handle that role? Right? If you're the VP of sales, guess what? You need leadership skills, you need sales skills, you need organizational skills. What are you doing today, right now, to get some of those skill sets? So when you actually get the role, you are not trying to figure it out, well, I guess I could handle it. No, you've been waiting for this for the last 3 years, for the last 5 years. Like, now it's time to shine. Now, what's very interesting is when you act as if, write this down, act as if that's your position. You're thinking about how a VP of sales would act, would behave, would make decisions, would hire, would recruit, would develop people. When you're thinking from that perspective, the people around you will see that, right? And if your boss is smart, he will recognize that. And then you would bring up ideas. You know what? I think within the sales division, we could make some of these improvements. I noticed like this area we're doing well, but here's an area that we're not focusing on. And I think this is something that we could do to bring in more revenue. You're already talking about it. You bring ideas on the table, and your CEO would see that. It's like, maybe this person could take that role with a little bit of nurturing, with a little bit of guidance, with a little bit of coaching, right? So prepare, not for the job today, for your next job. Think ahead and operate from here, not from here.
Rule number 4, don't waste, invest.
When I started making some money, I was spending money on dumb things because I was insecure. I was getting the new car, I was blowing money on just dumb, stupid shit, right? Because I thought that that's what you're supposed to do. When you have money, you kind of show it off, and you would say, hey, you look at me and I'll buy people dinners, all these stupid things. Because I didn't know when you make money, you're supposed to invest and reinvest and keep it growing. When you're at a young age, when you're in my mid-20s, money are flying in, money are coming in so fast, and you think that will last forever, which I thought it would last forever. That's not how it works. So that's my biggest financial regret. I wish I had put more money aside. I wish I had started investing earlier. I wish I wasn't so dumb. I wish I wasn't so insecure, making decisions, doing stupid things, buying things to impress people that really doesn't really matter.
Also, if you want to have more self-love and confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
Remember this, your business is always a reflection of you. After you practice martial art, you develop this natural self-confidence. Not cockiness, but you develop this natural self-confidence. There's a problem with young people. You're not good at anything. Oh, I'm so good. No, tell me the truth. You're not good at anything.
Rule number 5, use books.
You see, I read a lot of books. And I don't just read books, I actually use books, because knowledge is not power, but applied knowledge is power. And over the years, I don't think I have read less than a book a week. That's kind of my average. Now, unless I'm working on some important project that I get very, very busy, or I'm traveling. But even when I'm traveling, I always have some books with me that I read. So if I'm working on something, there may be a period of time for a few months that I don't read a whole lot. But on average today, I read about 3 to 4 books a week. That's my average, because leaders are readers and readers are leaders. In order to be better, you have to learn more.
Rule number 6, study your competition.
You are probably competing with companies and businesses that are more established, that have more resources, they have been around longer. Or if you are the leader in your sector, in your industry, in your category, chances are you also have new companies coming into your industry, trying to take market share from you, trying to take customers from you, right? They offer different types of products. In business, we cannot avoid it. We are dealing with competition every day. So today I want to share with you some of my unique perspectives when it comes to dealing with competition and just the way I view competition. First of all, the competition that you think is your competition is not your only competition. What do I mean by that? Think about if, let's say, you run a local gym membership, right? You run a local gym and you sell gym membership, and you think you are competing with other gyms in your area. I could tell you that simply is not true. If that's the way that you look at the market, chances are you're gonna lose because you underestimate the amount of competitions that you have. Because keep in mind, the customers that you're selling to, they only have so much disposable income that they could spend. So it's not just between choosing your gym versus other gym. It's also choosing spend money with you, spend money in fitness, investing in their own health, right? Versus spending money maybe at Crispy Donut, right? Or Netflix. You have to look at it that way because they only got so much money. If you want them to spend money with your business, you cannot just think about, I'm just competing with other gyms. That's a bare minimum, right? That's who you're competing with. So, way number 1, how do you compete? Number 1, keep your friends close and keep your competitions closer. Here's what I do. I study my competitions. I probably know my competition better than they know themselves, right? I study them. I buy from them, right? I talk to their people. I want to know what they're doing, what they're gonna do, and how they're doing it. What are some of the best practices? So I study. I'm on their email list. I look at if they have videos, if they have social media. I follow their stuff. You have to know, because how are you gonna beat someone if you don't know what they're doing? It's very dangerous in business to think that, well, I don't need to know what they're doing. I just need to do my own thing, right? Well, but there's some things you can learn from your competitions. So don't be so arrogant and say, there's nothing I can learn from them. No, I learn a lot from my competition. So that's a great thing about a capitalism, right? That you can learn from other people. You can learn from your competitions. If they are successful, if they're getting ahead, if they are getting customers, there's something that they are doing, chances are that you are not doing. It could also be they're providing a better service, a better experience. They're selling a better product. They've got a better team, whatever it might be. Competitions challenge you to be better. It challenges you to not get complacent. So it's not such a bad thing. So don't be so afraid if they put us out of business. Don't be so afraid of that. If they put us out of business, there's something wrong with us, right? We are not keeping up, right? We are not delivering enough value to the marketplace or solving the customer's problems the way that they want to be solved.
Rule number 7, manage by persuasion.
This is company that I am working with. In the beginning, when they have a small group, not a lot of people within the company, family vibe, and it's okay. They were providing a very good service. It's always on time. Everything seems to be fine. As they are growing, they have different divisions. They have acquired a new company, then everything turns into shit. I mean, they're not getting back to the client. They're not even delivering on what they promise. And I look at that, and I would say the biggest problem they have is because the CEO lacks leadership skill. The company itself has outgrown the capabilities of the CEO. There are many different forms of leadership style. One, you could have leaders who are leading by dictatorship, meaning it's my way or the highway. It's only one way to do something, that they don't listen to anybody. It's very much like top to bottom. That's it. This is how we do it. They don't listen to anybody. Now, it might work in the old days. It doesn't work today, especially when you're working with young people. They want to express themselves. right? They want to have space where they could grow. They want to voice out their opinions. You gotta listen to them, right? Or you have some people, they're managing, they're leading by consents. Meaning they want to wait for everybody. Wait for everybody agrees on something. That everybody likes the decision. Don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. A problem with that, nothing gets done. It doesn't get done. You're not moving forward because you care way too much about other people's feelings versus the job, what needs to be done. And sometimes those things, you gotta make a tough decision. And you're gonna make some decisions that are not popular, that maybe your people, your team doesn't like. But that's why you are in the leadership position. You get paid the big bucks because you can make those tough decisions. That's your job, not anyone's job. No one can do that for you. My leadership style is actually very simple. I manage by persuasion, meaning I want to find out the goals, the dreams of each member. What do they want? Where do they want to be? Once I understand their personality type, once I understand their goals and dreams, I want to put them in the right seat. And sometimes where you think is the right seat may not be the right seat right away. Right person in the right seat. And my job is not to micromanage. My job is to create a platform, the environment so they could flourish and give them clear milestones so they hit those milestones and me holding them accountable. Done properly, they should hold themselves accountable. That's my leadership style.
Rule number 8, stay innovative.
In business, you have to understand that it's not just, hey, I focus on my product, I focus on my marketing, I focus on whatever that I'm doing now, but it's very, very important to stay relevant, to stay on the cutting edge. So what are some of the things that you can do to stay innovative in business or in marketing? Now you can see if you follow my work, I'm always testing new ideas. I'm pushing the envelope. I'm coming up with new ideas. Doesn't matter if it's an ad, doesn't matter if it's a piece of content, doesn't matter if it's an Iron Man. It doesn't really matter, right? I want to incorporate different things I do because in order to get attention from the marketplace, you don't want to be boring. Being boring is the biggest sin in marketing. Because if people are not paying attention to even your message, they're not even paying attention to your brand, they're not going to buy from you, period, right?
Rule number 9, never lose money.
Warren Buffett, investing principle number 1, never lose money. Investing rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. You have to understand Warren Buffett doesn't just look at return on investments. He also looks at return of investment, meaning how safe is this investment going to be in 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years. And Warren only invests in what he understands. Even though there's so many opportunities come across his table, and some of those are tempting, but Warren doesn't look at those. He only invests in what he understands. You see, most people, they approach investing like they're going to Vegas, right? They're gamblers, they're not investors. They go into the stock market thinking about, well, you know what, how quick am I gonna make a quick buck, right? How quick am I gonna make my money? Versus having that long-term view. You hear this from gamblers a lot, right? They go to Vegas and say, you know what, I'm gonna bring $3,000 and I'm gonna stop once I lose all that 3K. A lot of people approach the stock market with the same attitude. I'm gonna lose X amount of dollars, then I'm gonna be done. Well, that's not how you approach investing.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is be a good leader.
As a business leader, one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable assets that you have are your people, your team. So the question and the challenge is always how to get the most out of your team. It's a challenge for everybody. It's also a challenge for me as well. I believe over the years I've learned so many things. Now the biggest problem with most businesses is not that they don't have good people. Now sometimes they just have bad people. That's a different story. But assuming you've got some good people, how to get them working together? And the way you get them working together is to have a very clear vision. Because imagine you've got a group of people working together, but they're all pulling in different directions, right? Where you want to go one direction and your team member wants to go this direction and another team member wants to go this direction. You are fighting each other. You're fighting against your own team versus when you have that clear vision. And you notice when you don't have clarity, your team won't have clarity. But when you have that clear vision, when everybody knows, okay, all right, this is the objective. This is where we're going. This is what we want to accomplish. When everybody is on the same page, then everybody could move forward in the right direction. So right now, if you go back and ask your employees, if you would ask them, do you know what is the vision for the company? Do you know where we want to be in the next quarter? Do you know where we want to be in the next 12 months? Ask them. Ask all the people within your company, how many of them could answer that, number one. And number two, would the answers be the same? If the answers won't be the same, there is something that you want to work on first.
Now I've got a special bonus clip from Dan on how to learn the art of closing that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. How can you be a good leader this week? Number 2. Where do you need to stop wasting and start investing? And number 3. What's the high income skill that you need to develop? And if you made it this far in a video, you're still watching and you commit to taking action after watching this video. We don't just watch videos, we do something. Give me a hashtag believe down in the comments because I want to celebrate you.
The best thing about being a sales professional is there's no ceiling to your income. It means that the better you're at sales, the better your closing ratio, the more money you're gonna make. So as a sales professional, we should always strive to be better so we can earn more. And I believe as a sales professional, we kind of go through 3 stages. First is what I call learn it. You gotta learn sales, learn the art of closing. Most sales guys, salespeople, they have never learned how to sell, right? Their philosophy when it comes to sales is they just wing it to see how it works. Okay, I get rejections, or I get objections, or I don't know how to close the sales. But they never take the time to learn how sales works. Basics of human psychology. Basics of language. How do you ask questions? How do you find out the needs? How do you close the sale? How do you ask for the order? They never learn how to do that. That's like amazing to think about how they do it day by day in, day out, selling, talking to customers, talking to prospects, but they never learn how to do it. It's like you're a chef, but you never learn how to cook. That's what I'm talking about. But because of ease of entry, the low barrier of entry, a lot of salespeople, they just get into it and they thought, you know what, I'll just learn it as I go. I guess I'll learn from mistakes. Well, that's very, very costly. Very, very costly. So that's level 1, learn it. Then you need to master it. Now, when I say master it, I mean you have to have some kind of systems that you follow. In the beginning, maybe you need to get some kind of script. Right? And one of the things that we offer is the perfect closing script. You can check it out. Get some kind of script, memorize it first, master it. Then what you need to do is you need to role play. You need to role play with other people, other sales professionals to hone your skills, to practice and sharpening that X. Because the last thing you want is to go out there, go to the marketplace and then wing it, and then you have a script, you practice it, but then you sound like a robot. That's not good, right? So the best way to almost like remove fear, right? Or to reduce the fear of rejections. And well, think about it. If you get 1 or 2, 3 rejections, you feel so hurt. It's like, oh my God, I'm so bad, I suck at this. After you've gotten 100, 200 through role play, like a sales simulation environment, after you've done a few hundred of those, I mean, you don't feel anything. It's like, what's the problem? Next. So learn it, master it. Last step, you need to forget it. You need to forget it. Forget the script, right? Now you're not reading, you're not memorizing, you're just in flow. So when you're talking with a prospect, you've internalized all the trainings that you've done. You've internalized the learning. Now it becomes part of who you are. You're not doing some kind of sales techniques. This is who you are, your identity. So when you close, then it's easy, it flows. You develop your own style of closing. And everyone is a little bit different, right? Someone might have a certain level of closing, a certain style of closing that works for her. That's great. Some people might have a different style of closing that works for that person. That's perfectly fine. You got to develop your own thing. So learn it, master it, then forget it. This whole process might take a few years. Learn it, maybe less than 2-3 months. That's what we train people to do. Master it, well, it takes a couple of years, but just master anything, right? It takes a little bit of time, you need some patience. Then to get to a point where you forget it, it means that you've internalized it. Now it becomes what I call unconscious competence. Hi, this is Dan Lok. If you're a fan of Evan's work, if you want to know exactly how to model my success, I want to invite you to join me for a special online training. All you have to do is click on the link below. You can join me for absolutely no charge. So click on the link below and I will see you in class.
If you want to see 10 more amazing rules from Dan Lok, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Duh. How do you think I get to be successful? Because I invest in myself, right? I'm always investing in myself. I'm always looking for the edge.